Good evening. It's Saturday night, apparently. I should point out that I haven't slept since, well, Friday morning. So, hence, I'm not quite sure if it's Saturday or not because, well, as we all know, to a large extent, your kind of next day meter is triggered by going to sleep. So, not having done that, I'm kind of a bit lost, really. So, but with that in mind, because I haven't slept for a long, long time, sorry, I'm just shuffling a couple of bobbins that I knocked. I think that tonight we are not going to go for 4 or 5 hours. I would like to go just after midnight to bed so that I get ready for Monday where I have to go to work. I mean, slightly depressingly, but, because right now that's not where I want to be. In part because I've had the week off, let's truly be honest here. I also need to apologise that Friday's stream, as it also turns out, I haven't uploaded yet because I'm lazy and daft. So, but with that in mind, it is time to continue on our journey and do some lace. Now, I've had fun, or not, as the case may be. So, how do I explain that? I rebooted my machine because I changed a setting on it and it told me I had to. The setting should not made any differences whatsoever in the slightest. However, when I rebooted, I went to fire up OBS to stream this evening and it said black. So I looked at the camera app and the camera app said USB 2 detected, please plug into USB 3. But it's in the same slot it's always been. So, Christ alone knows what's wrong in the world. But apparently, I had to change slots. As far as I knew, both the slots on the back of my machine that are USB-C, because it's a USB-C device, were of the same variety. But it's happy now, so whatever offended it, maybe it just needed re-plugging. I mean, Lord alone knows. But it's currently happy. I mean, it's given us a picture, so I assume it's good. I've been playing Path of Exile since we last spoke. And, well, turns out I really suck at it. I knew this, to an extent. But maybe not quite to the extent that apparently I do. Because it's been out 13 hours now. And I've got one character out of Act 2. Another one with like 40 deaths behind it. And not out of Act... Sorry, into Act... And not out of Act 1 yet. And this has got really tangled. So, let me just... Let's sort this out a little bit. And I've tried... So I tried, the first thing I wanted to do was Warrior. Because, well, to be quite honest, for the previous seasons, Warrior was maybe not the best thing to be playing. But, kind of smack, 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 you know. But really didn't do well with that at all. I then made a sorceress, I think. It's a bit... and, well, other than the sucking at it, as already mentioned, it just seems to be that I am... I mean, one of the big problems with a lot of these games is that it's... Now, I know a lot of people would come for me when I say it is not a skill. Now, there is a skill in that if you are very skilled, you can make it work. But that's like a really good artist making something with standard kids' crayons, right? Just because the really talented can make it work doesn't make it kind of a viable option. And this is kind of where I'm at, is that as a mere mortal and someone with lesser skill, no, I don't expect to be able to be, you know, Angormus and make it through the game in, you know, 2.5 hours or whatever the fuck you did it, which is a ridiculously short period of time. Why does it feel like there's a thing missing? Should be there. There is one, but for some reason didn't seem to be a dot. Oh well. So, you know, I'd had no expectations of, you know, server firsts but, you know, we've got people who have, you know, Act 4 apparently is quite long. Well, having never got out of Act 3, I mean, that'll tell you a lot. But it just seems that we are, or I, at least. No, that's not right either. Something's not right. See, this isn't right. Because you should be coming in to do this. So, let me take that back. And this back. Because something's not quite right. Yeah, something's not right here. Right. So, conclusion. This can't be right. course I can't see the pin for all the other pins to pull it out. That's the right one. So this, so you go there, you go there, you go to there. That would be wrong. This is not going to be my day, guys. Okay, so So that should go to there, that should go to there, that then goes there, which doesn't add up. It's not adding up, peeps. This is the only problem I have with this. So I think it's because of the join. I have a feeling the join is slightly out of sync. This end might be that it's slightly, yeah, it's slight. I think it's, yeah, it's slightly out of sync. That's the problem. And that would mean undoing a whole great chunk of this. Well, shit. Shittity poo. I don't think it's out by a lot. So, what I am planning on doing is undoing this side as much as I can and giving it a bit of a tug. Obviously. I've got to get back far enough to at least make this end bit a little bit more open, because it's not wrong, but the problem is the pattern is hidden by We're nearly there. I'm not sure if it's going to have been enough, but I reckon it's literally like 0.5 millimetre. Let's see if I can work out. Yeah, gonna have to undo more. I need it slightly twisted. Let's undo these a little bit. Oh, that's depressing. Kind of annoyed. Because I know when I sewed them together, I sewed the right bits. However, somehow, when I pinned them down, I didn't get them straight. Because obviously there is a bit of movement in it. And there is a chance that I sewed them together wrong. But I'm pretty confident I didn't. Because, well, when you do it, when you sew them together, you get to see both sides. So you can lift them up and then you pull them tighter together once you're happy. So I am confident I sewed the right pieces together. It's just depressing looking back and redoing all these. this is not going the right way. I can't see what you're doing. See, you're not right somehow. I might have to go back into all of these to get them off the join and realign the join entirely, which sucketh a lot. I needed more sleep than this. For this to feel reasonable, I needed way more sleep. And this fly needs to fucking die. The worst thing is there aren't actually that many flies in the house. It's probably only the one. But the moment he kind of goes on holiday, he hands shift over to the next one. I heard somewhere that flies only live 24 hours. Oh, 15 to 30 days. Okay. Sorry. The worst thing is they seem to be really fascinated with landing on the back of my arm, so I can't see them, but I can feel them. I just can't see what's crossed where. I really can't. haven't yawned until the moment I turned the camera on. It's so frustrating. See, it's really close now. If I do that, it's really, really close. In fact, if I take that and give it a bit of tension, is that enough? This is the question. No, is the short answer. Yeah, I need to undo all of it. This is so depressing. And not what I need at nearly 11 o'clock at night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 6. So, here we go. You're right. Can't believe we're going to undo all this work. It is utterly depressing. Which is probably part of the reason I'm yawning. Because when I'm depressed I get tired. Hey Nakasa, I am somewhat flagging at the edges and depressed. Partly my own fault because I have not slept since Thursday because I was playing Path of Exile. But also, the last centimetre we did, i.e. the bit where this overlaps all the way across, needs to be undone. Because although I sewed it in place, as I pinned it in, and obviously it was there, it had moved underneath, so it's not straight. So when I went to continue down, the dots weren't where they needed to be. So I've now got to undo, or probably an hour or so's work to get to the bottom. And kind of pissed, frankly. So that's 3, 4, 5. We need to undo a bit more of you. Hence the plethora of pins growing. Pretty much. Because unlike knitting or crochet where you can kind of just pop and yank and wind your thread back, here you have to undo what you did. Now, in principle, it should be the reverse movements. It doesn't always seem to work out that way. For some reason. I mean, for the most part it is, but it obviously shows I make a lot of smaller mistakes that aren't hugely noticeable when you go to undo it and you can't. So, 1, 2, 3, 5. We need 2 more. You are on the cusp. I'd have to. Well done. And the other thing that's kind of preying on my mind, that has been for a couple of hours now, is I can smell something, but I don't know what it is. It's really hard to put into words what it smells like, because it's not a smell I'm used to. It's not burning, it's just a smell. Now, is it pleasant? I'd argue not overly. But it's not unpleasant. It's just a smell. Fair enough. Sounds a bit like when I'm making this. this one or not, but let's assume I do. Is that a full pack now? I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was so pleased with how it was going too. It's really knocked my brain cells. Because of course technically I did not do wrong. Just that the paper moved. And I mean, the more I free up, the more there is a chance of moving it far enough. No, I've still got a bit more to go. Because it still wants to move back. I need to release more of these. But yeah, not having had enough sleep, things like this are definitely harder work. The enthusiasm level is also somewhat decreased due to fading brain cells. It's not... Oh shit. Have I got to undo some of that spider? Please, no. So... To be honest, I think I only have to undo this very bottom edge here. And I'm itching quite a lot. It says checking because it looked like there was a bit of a rash trying on my arm. Only my right one. In which case, I'll ignore it because it's not life-shattering. It'll be contact allergy. In which case, whatever it was is unknown. So, and it's not touching it now. So, no point worrying about it. It won't kill me. I'm not generally allergic to anything, but it will be some kind of irritant or dog hairs or something digging in. Lord knows what. Let's put some of you back in a stick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm pretty confident you're back far enough. Which gives me more space to look at this lot. Start putting this on this side, I suppose. You're just falling apart. You're just falling apart. So I apologise to all of those who are joining in. This is not me at my best. I should have gone to bed last night rather than stayed up playing games at my age. And of course, now I've got to undo something that requires brain cells. I don't really have any. I am somewhat devoid of brain cells at this time. Due to lack of sleep. bit long. It's a bit long too. Too long. The least amount of resistance, the more likely I am to be able to straighten it out. Hence, going back. Two, three, 5, 6. You need to come undone, so you need to stick around. So I need to undo. Yeah. That could be enough. Still not really. Arseholes. This is utterly soul destroying. I cannot express this enough. And I'm definitely not in the mood for spam bots. So let's count 7 of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Put you on a stick. Pretty confident you are all sufficiently done. You certainly are. Which you're close. Just leaves you. Come on. You've got like 2 pins holding you in now. This side is definitely about right. It's this side that's like a pinhole out. Problem is, you then can't see the pinholes for the bloody threads that you're pulling on to work out if they're in the right spot or not. There, I need it there. So let me pinhole this down a little bit. So to give it a bit of sticking power. Now, just check. Yes, right. Can't believe it's taken me an hour and 15 minutes to undo enough to straighten that up. Mental note for next time. When I get to the bottom, which I will plough here. No, I won't, because it will disturb the pins, and after all that, I'm not gonna. Now it's a little bit too far, of course it is. Basically this dot and this dot, let me hyper zoom in for you. So go up. You almost can't see them. But these two dots here, there's one below and one above, need to line up. And they pretty much do, round about there. So we're gonna roll with it for now. One, two, three, four, five. What I want to do is go down the other end and pin them in, to be honest, because they're the end that's out, and if I fasten them down, life will be good. So, you are kind of held down. You must be 7, because, well, so let's get out the other end. Let's walk you around a little bit so that I can see. Now, ideally, I want to start on the outside edge, but this looks kind of wonky-fied. No, it's not. But we'll just kind of. And all this because we noticed we had the wrong number, and we actually didn't have the wrong number. We actually had the right number, but not the dots in the right place. Hang on, got to go and shout at the dog. Turns out he wasn't doing what I thought. I thought he was drinking from the toilet, even though there was water. So I've given them fresh water, because, you know. bit flatter. It will, once we've got more pins in, of course. Oh. Something's a bit over. Oh, it's because the pin's bent. That's why it's overly wonky. Well, it's not like we haven't got 8,000 more. This is the first official pin death, I believe. I still can't believe that I was only hoping to do this till midnight, and I won't have redone all the bit that I'd undone, whatever, you know what I mean. Slightly annoyed, but there we go. Hello, hello. Get out. Where are you flying to? Or rather, not where are you flying to, why are you flying? What are you going to be doing is probably the better question. I see. Well, at least you're going... Mind you, if you're going there for a holiday, in quotes, why'd you book it so early? Fair enough. I can understand that. Thank you for the follow. As I said, I do apologise that today I am not in my usual kind of, well, I would say happiness, but to those who've been here long enough, that's not necessarily the right word. I stayed up too late. Well, in fact, I haven't been to bed since Thursday. Depends on your definition. I think the answer has to be late, considering I haven't slept since Thursday. So I went to bed Thursday. No. I've been playing Path of Exile. So I got up about 8 o'clock Friday morning. So that's 36, 37, 38, 39, nearly 40 hours ago. And I'm too old. Oh yeah, I've done it. Been there, done that. I've got some great stories of sleep-deprived hallucinations. They mainly involve doors. Where I'm sitting, I'm alright, because I can't see any door frames. But what happens to me, and I'm going to use my hand, if this is the door frame, basically my brain does that with it. But only the door frame. No. I was just playing Path of Exile and swearing a lot. I suck at game playing, to be honest. And it took ages for me to download the game because of my dog crap internet. Because let's face it, if my internet was any better, I'd be streaming So I just need to make sure I use the right pinholes. I'd be streaming on YouTube as well right now. And I know I haven't uploaded Friday's video as well, so yeah, I'm aware of that. But mainly because, well, in my head it's still Friday, because I haven't been to bed yet. So yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Do you have a particular flavour variety, or are you as long as it's got bobbins you're okay kind of person? She says, realising how unstraight her Bella is here. So, to give you an idea, nearly a year ago, I set about making a lace curtain, and I went about it crochet style. Now, bear with me when I say that, as in I went to make squares that I would then join together, like you do with granny squares. So, this was the square, and I like my square. I mean, there's mistakes in it, bite me, but I liked my square. But the more I stared at it, the more my brain kind of went, it's going to look a bit weird. And the reason it's going to look a bit weird is because, well, net curtains don't usually have join lines. So with that in mind, we have restructured. We made enough for half a window, so I have 9 of them instead of the originally planned 18. And we are now embarking on this. That is a slightly odd way of saying it. And sadly, my German is terrible. You, yeah, going to bed on me. I don't know. Lightweight. Mind you, must be nearly 1 o'clock for you. Shouldn't you be in bed? I mean, being British, I'm only an hour behind you, so... And yes, I definitely should be in bed, but... Yeah, that's true. You are 2 hours ahead. It's funny how I originally did this so that, you know, to assist our American friends in viewing, and it's amazing how many of you are still my side of the pond. You know? I can't see the... Oh, there it is. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, one of the weirdest things is I got this lace pillow from a German lace making online store, and I love it, and I was looking for a bigger one. Not because I need one bigger one, because clearly my strips are only this big, but because, well, as we all know, my brain likes overshooting and picking ideas and projects that are just far too big. Anyway, it sat there, and I've noticed recently, sadly, the German site that I got this from has now closed, or it's currently not working, or all of the above. The website is still there, but all the pages are not found. So even when you go to like the root of the site, it says there is no website. So I don't know whether they've just have they're doing something and they've messed up their website, or who knows, right? Because I don't remember hearing from them that they were shutting down or anything. So, you know, it's a bit of a shame but I did find a bigger one of these with a bit of help in Denmark. And I now possessed, so this is 71 centimetres from far end that end to far end that end. New one is basically a metre long. It's like 97 centimetres. The roller portion is 60. So as a result of that, it is considerably wider. This is a 40 centimetre roller. So basically from camera to camera is about 40 centimetres. Whereas new pillow, clearly bigger. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, do I expect it to be the most used pillow? Well, as you know, space is always a premium. And so having more space could very much well be the answer. So I know I made them all longer earlier, and I'm now making them all just a little bit shorter because, well, now they're all being annoying, like this one. This one needs sorting out, actually. So, let me join you to you. Because I feel better when you're attached. Now, you go working through here. Seriously, how is this a thing? How has it taken me all this time and I'm still not even back where I started? Well, I'm not back where I'm started. I'm back where I started, fixed. I.e., all the dots are where they should be. She says, just checking. Yes, so all the dots are where they should be. That's right, I had a bit of a moment because, and if I use a pin, you've got the 3 dots here, one on the end, like that, one in the middle, which is kind of there, and one at the bottom. And I had a horrible thought for a minute there that they were now wrong. But they're not, so that's good. And we're going to poke you in there. And you in there. I will say one thing. Now I've straightened my sheet of paper, it looks a lot straighter to me as well. Because I did notice it was on a bit of an angle, but I thought that, you know, because obviously over a longer period of time, you do end up with any minor angle is extenuated. So if you take a 0.1 degree, yes, sleep well. I will be back on more normal hours tomorrow and Monday, etc. So hopefully I shall see you again. But yeah, the problem with all of these things is angles. So if you, as I said, if you do it over a really short distance and you're a tiny bit out, it will almost be undetectable. If you are not more than 0.1 degree out and you travel from one end of the solar system to the other, you missed your target by a lot of miles. You know, distance matters. And obviously over the course of 1 metre, it would not be too surprising to be marginally out of alignment. Just because, well, it wouldn't. I did try and start with it. Oh, Mecca gets me. You see, I can stay up till 3 in the morning, as you well know. I do most Saturdays to a large extent. Have done all week. Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, now bugger off. See, what I would have done, if I was you, is I would have stayed up, been really tired, . 'Cause, 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 'cause Exactly. Exactly what I do. So what I would do is I would stay up late, go to the airport because moving around and doing things helps keep you awake. Get to the airplane, sleep on it. Because I will be dead. I will be a zombie. The other thing I can recommend, and this is not a drugs thing, magnesium glycinate. There are many forms of magnesium. Lots of people take citrate to relax. Do not do citrates. Citrate makes you poop. Glycinate is a muscle relaxant. This stuff, if you took a couple of these, because they're herbal, you can pretty much eat the pot if you liked. Will help you sleep without making you drowsy, if that makes sense. So that if you've ever had sleeping pills, you feel weird in the morning, you usually taste metal, there's kind of side effects. This stuff, nah, it's just a bit of a muscle relaxant. So it'll help you get to sleep if you're tired. If you're not tired, it doesn't help you get to sleep. It's kind of like that. But, you know, my gut reaction would be, take a couple of them, get on the plane, sleep it off, wake up the other end and go, ta-da! 1, 2, 3, 4. I also guess that means we're not going to see you for a few days then, Mika gets me. Well, it's not like there's a lot to watch, you know? I mean, there's a movie, or they used to do movies, I don't know whether they still do. Probably have to pay for them these days. Let's give you an idea. Last time I stepped... Fair enough. To give you an idea, I was 16 when I last got on an aircraft. Smoking on an aircraft was still a thing when I last flew, right? So, you know, I'm a little out of touch with how it all works these days. It has. And let's face it, I didn't fly that much even back then. I flew to... Where did we go? It wasn't France. Was it Switzerland? I sit at home, I sit in this exact same fucking chair. Morning, noon and night. 2, 4. One of you is wrong. So, yeah, I do nothing with my vacation time. In fact, on Thursday I logged in and did some tickets for work. So only because I was looking at something else, but... Well, it is. It is. It depends. I am very happy living at home doing my thing. So doing lace making, tatting, playing around with tatting shuttles. I still suck with this tatting shuttle, but I have discovered that this little doody one, I get on a bit better. I am. And I'm going to say it was bred into me to an extent. Now, I'm not going to say I wouldn't have been anyway, but to an extent, it was bred into me. The reason I say that is my parents did not go on holiday. My parents did not allow me to have friends. My parents did not allow me out of the house. So, except for allowing me to go and stay with my grandparents to work on the farm. And obviously when working on the farm, I had to work on the farm. That's a long flight. But, you know, so it meant that my holidays... Well, it is and it isn't. My parents didn't have the money to do any different. So, while the average child would consider it abuse, it's not really. Going on holiday abroad is not a right, it is a privilege. And this is something that has always bugged me. You get like, you know, oh, I need a laptop, I need a games machine. Oh God, no, I couldn't go camping with my dad. My dad was partially disabled. Mostly in his head, but my dad was partially disabled. He did have spine issues and knee issues. I'm not going to pretend that he didn't. But they were not as bad as he made out. Secondly, once he was an old fart, he went and saw a man who did some work on his knees. My dad was fucking fitter than I am. So, you know, to some extent, my dad could have done something about it in his younger years, but didn't. Well, now you know, you know, let's face it, I'd rather snog Voldemort than my mother, so, you know, I'm not going to pretend that it's not a problem, but, like a lot of things, when you're a kid, you don't know any different, and because I didn't really have any friends, and the couple of kids that I generally hung out with later in school also did not go on holiday because they couldn't afford it either. There was it, you know, it's not like you come back after some holiday, see them at school and go, hi, how was your holiday? Oh, we went to Mallorca and we went to Aspen. We didn't get any of that. We just kind of went, oh, well, I mooched around. You know, they had one had brother, one and a sister, and the other one had about 5 fucking sisters, which is why they were broke. And it was just one of those things, oh, well, I did some stuff, I learned, you know, I invested, you know, I read a couple of books, I did some crafting, I hugged the dog, I practiced playing tennis in the garden, and yeah, but it is one of those kind of principles, right, is that well, there is that, but you see, like everything, we didn't know any different, so we accepted it. You know, as I've said to you before, I didn't get really any pocket money from my parents, but they wouldn't let me have a job either. Well, so I didn't have money to buy shit. So I saved what little I had, and well, I was going to be a twin, the world would have imploded, so let's not dwell on that thought. My mother miscarried the other one. The rumour was, according to my mother, that I kicked it until it died or something. Yeah. So yeah, it is one of those kind of moments though, is that I didn't know any different. And it's only as an adult have I really realised how different my upbringing was to everybody else. Well, I've always kind of... I will cite to you the story of my music teacher. Now, bear in mind, my music teacher got married when I was like 11 or 12. And over the next few years, she would become pregnant, announce that she was pregnant to friends, which included my family, miscarry. All the while, I don't know how I got pregnant. Her exact words, I don't know how it happened. Now, at the age of 13, 14, you do not pry too much into an adult's sex life, let's truly be honest, because, ew. I mean, to be honest, most people don't pry into sex lives anyway, but certainly not as a child to an adult. So I never asked, were you using contraception? Were you taking active strides to not be pregnant? Or are you just thick, right? And eventually, Emily was born. And Emily was a royal bitch. As I understand it, she has grown up to be a lot better. Boy, howdy did she need to, right? Well, once Emily was born, well, about a year later, miscarriage number like 23, whatever, right? Don't know how it happened. Couple of goes later, the twins were born. So then she had Natalie and Stephanie. And I'm kind of sitting there and out of her face is the I don't know how it happened. And it's kind of, have you not correlated cause and effect here? You know, it's kind of like, I'm not going to, I've got a book called Where Do I Come From? Do I need to bring it round? I mean, it was a very 80s book. And it was kind of like, do I need to bring you my book? I mean, do I need to? This was my sex education after all. Do I need to bring this and teach you? And eventually she moved away and then had another one. And I believe then had another one. And I still imagine her today. I don't know how it happened. I would like to believe she knows now. But at the same time, maybe not. I mean, you know. But as you've said, right, there is the art of keeping one's legs shut. Now, unless you are being forcefully made to, well, there was a program that bored my piss, to be fair, which is why I bring it up, which was 22 children and counting. Or was it 21? But there was this woman who was not exactly catch of the century. I mean, nor am I, but I'm not the one with 22 children, right? Let's put that, you know, just kind of want to make that small clarification here. She lived in a council house, and it wasn't very big. Well, when you've got that many fucking children, nothing's going to feel very big. Let's truly be fair here. But picture this. She had children ranging from the age of like 17, 18 to one she'd squatted out like 20 minutes ago. Right? And I think she was pregnant again. And so was at least one of her children. Right? And one of the first things I remembered her saying in that programme was whining that the door to the sitting room had come off its hinges and that the council hadn't fixed it. Bitch, make one of your baby daddies do something useful before you give them their fun, right? Get one of them to help you put it back on the hinges. If this is that much of an issue, yeah. And like you say, just cross your legs. I mean, it just kind of, I've always, I mean it with a bit of respect, and I don't at the same time. there are people out there who breed, and this just doesn't seem the best use for them. That really, some other activity, these are not the gene pool we need to be, keeping going. It's, and I mean it with some level of respect, because, again, much as going on holiday is not a right, I don't believe having children is a right. It is a privilege. For if you cannot afford the little shits, keep your legs crossed, right? And I'm not pretending here that they're cheap to have. Far from it. But if you don't think you can afford one, i.e. you don't work, you don't have baby daddy who's Elon Musk in his spare time or something, right? Then don't be doing it. Keep your legs crossed. Yeah. One of my biggest beefs for about nearly 30 years, so I've been hargering this one for a while, and I'm going to share it with you today. So this is not a political statement, for it is not, but nothing boils my piss more. They don't tend to do it so much now, but it's still possible, they just don't tend to advertise it. Was they used to advertise payday loans and other loans in general. And the problem was, the advert would go something like, are you struggling to pay your bills? Well, yeah. Are you up to your eyeballs in debt? Well, yeah, because you overspent. Well, take out a loan that you clearly can't afford with us. And now on flat value, that can have some sense. So if I have a loan with you at 8% and these dudes are doing 6%, I can pay off your loan and save the difference. That's fine. But that's not what happens. So, that's right, Etsy's just kicked in. So, what they'd show then is, oh, I see you've got a new car. Oh yes, we went on holiday and we bought a new car. But you couldn't pay your bills. Unless your car was dying, you didn't need a new car. Now, I'm not going to say it's not nice to have a better car. It's not. Of course it is. We all know that it would be nice to have a new car or a newer car and to go on holiday and, maybe if you're that way inclined and all those kinds of things. But if you haven't got 2p to wipe your ass with, well then don't be taking a loan out for £5,000-6,000 or more, to which you can't really afford to pay back because you were already up to your eyeballs in debt because you didn't pay off your other loan with it. You bought new shit. So, borrow less, pay off the old one if it's a better deal, and stop. Do not be buying holiday. Do not encourage them, because I'm not going to say everybody, but part of the problem when people end up like that is because, times got a bit tough. They maybe weren't as careful with their money because they'd already, if you've bought a car on HP, for example, absolutely. It's, I get it. Who doesn't want a newer car? Who doesn't want, except for me, a holiday in the sun and a couple of weeks off having the time of your life? Who doesn't want a brand new wardrobe? Me. Who doesn't want some nice jewellery? Me. Who doesn't, go to the hairdressers every 6 weeks to get their hair done? Me. Who doesn't wear makeup? Me, right? All these things cost money that you don't need, you want, right? And I'm not saying that it's wrong to want them, but people need to understand that this is a want and not I deserve. And this is where I've always struggled with it, is because you get so much of it, I deserve. No, you don't. Nobody deserves it. That's not how this works. You deserve a roof over your head. You deserve a nutritious meal. You deserve, reasonable state of, rights to healthcare and dental and shit that your country doesn't do very well. But you do not deserve a holiday. You want a holiday. You really enjoy a holiday. And yeah, I totally get it. But it's not right. Your right is to something to eat and drink. Your right is to not freeze your ass off. There's a difference. And too many of these things would advertise like it's your God-given right. It's the same with the new iPhone comes out, right? Oh, I've got, the number of children you see with an iPhone. Why? Time off work should be alright. Not going to disagree with you on that. Time off work, downtime to, relax, do you things, should be alright. And that is something I think our country has got right. In that we get, I think minimum you can have 18 days a year. But that's it's nearly 4 working weeks, right? The difference, so that and obviously we have a different number of public holidays to you, so that gets complicated, but we get, I think it's 11 or 12 public holidays a year. Yeah, and again, I agree on maternity leave, but at the same time, and this one is a little bit more on the fence. If a company is paying you and you turn into one of the 22 kids and counting people, when are they getting anything for their money? So from that point of view, I do have a little sympathy for businesses, because if you hire someone and like 6 months later, I'm pregnant, and basically you don't see him for another 5 years, then well, that gets a little bit much, because they can't fire you. You can't fire someone on maternity leave. Even if they had baby, get straight up the duff again as soon as humanly possible, and so have the year off maternity that they're allowed here. It's up to a year, but exactly. But they still have to do it with due course. They can't do it just because you've been away for 5 years, right? I mean, obviously 5 years hopefully is stretching it, but there's been people, hello, 22 and counting, I know of people, it used to be a common spate of things in the 90s, where they would be almost perpetually pregnant. It seemed to wear off later, but you know, yeah, they were perpetually pregnant. And so again, with that in mind, it is a difficult task for the employer. So I do have some sympathy, not a lot, for the employer in that respect, because you know they are paying you to work after all, and it's not their choice. They don't get anything for you having a sprog. They never had a right in the say. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And no, they shouldn't have right in the say. Let's truly be fair. I need to make that one clear. I don't think that your employer should have the right to deny you having children. But at the same time, if you can't afford it, people need to be more responsible for having children. Now, okay, accidents happen and shit and stuff, and I will also say I don't believe in. While I do believe in abortions, I kind of don't believe in them as a instead of birth control. Now, should your birth control fail, and you are not in a position to look after it, maybe. Should you find yourself in a legal position where you had no say in the matter and now you're pregnant, let's leave it at that. Absolutely. You should not be made to carry that problem with you for life. It's not the baby's fault, but at the same time, it's not yours either. So, let's, but yes, and that's what I mean. It shouldn't be your oh look, we did it too many times and I managed to get pregnant, or we did it a lot and we've never used protection. Oh crap, I'm pregnant. Let's sort that out. That's not how that should work, right? It should not be used as birth control in that manner. It should be for, let's call them reasonable reasons, such as incest rate, and medical. I firmly believe that medically there's a good reason for that. You can have lots of good reasons why medically having said sprog would be a bad thing. So again, if that's the better option, that's the better option. But because you didn't cross your legs is not one of them. So yeah, I'm on the fence in that it should be available, but it shouldn't be an excuse, if you know what I mean. So yeah, yes. Just because it's a girl and not a boy and you didn't want another girl, or these are not good reasons, right? This is not, this is not how it should work. Well, we're kind of back to where we were. Give or take a bit. Put you back in the stick. So let's quickly fill in the small hole over here. Yeah, I can imagine that one. They do the you should be ashamed look very well. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, accidents do happen, but well, as you say, you now have a son. Ta-da! Yeah. You didn't do what you were told. Oh God, yeah. Mind you, if you'd met my ex-husband's mother, she was Irish and she was like 4'0" standing in heels, right? She was the tiniest woman I ever met. Actually, that's not quite true. But she was a tiny woman. And yeah. My ex-husband is about 6 foot tall. She walloped him down the stairs with a phone directory. Basically, yeah. She was a little rocket, and as I say, she walloped him down a flight of stairs by whapping him over the head with a telephone directory. So, you know. I don't know. I don't know, actually. Don't think she was, but, you know, I only ever met her with white hair, so it's a bit harder to tell. I could ask. But yeah, they do. They do. Probably. I must admit, it's red hair and green eyes is a very striking look, especially on the Irish because they are as pale as arse. So those eyes stand out beautifully, and the hair just really sets them off. It is a very beautiful combination. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's looks like there's something funky back here actually. We do this. See if that shows what I'm seeing. No, it's alright. It's the angle. That's okay. Had me worried that I'd screwed it up again. Oh! So, I'm going to leave it there because, well, I need to go to bed. It's it's 12:30 now. So, cover that up. I'm going to thank you very much. Mika gets me. I'll be on Discord for a little bit longer while I sort out uploading the videos, because I've got 2 videos to upload and pictures to put on and stuff. I actually feel fine now. You may have noticed I've stopped yawning. I could probably easily go on till 3 or 4, but I also really need not to, because I've got to go to work on Monday, and napping while work time is not going to be a thing. So I do need to get a good night's sleep, and sleep like the dead for a bit. I will be back tomorrow. If I don't wait. Oh, I will. If I get too much sleep, I will not be starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because I might not be awake yet. So we'll find out when we get there. But I do intend to stream tomorrow. I promise. I always intend to stream tomorrow, whenever tomorrow is. And then I kind of get there and it's like, no, I'm dead. Pretty much, yeah. Anyway, I shall hopefully see you all tomorrow. All of Mika gets me by the looks of it. I don't think I've got any other lurkers, actually. It might just be you. Or maybe Honey Bear's lurking. But either way, maybe both of you. You know how it is. That's alright, you can kind of, well, it depends what you got to do with it, but if you're doing ironing, you can watch an iron, if you're shoving it in the machine, well, you can wander off and do that, I won't know. It's not like I'm going to be offended, is it? I can't see from here. But yeah, it's going to be a long day. I see. Well, something to listen to. My rantiness and clickety bobbins, and you know, it's up to you. You are not just as you know. It's not my right to ask for you. I can ask, but I have no right to expect you to come. I would like it if you would come, though. So, we shall see. It will depend when I wake up. I need to have some food. That would be good. I have been eating. Do not panic. I have been eating, just not necessarily a lot. Don't worry. As is kind of apparent by my hands, I am not the skinniest human being alive. I can afford to be light on a couple of meals, probably for a couple of weeks without even noticing. So, you know, it's not a bad thing. I have been eating. I just really fancy a cooked meal rather than sandwiches, which is what I've been generally having. But that's partly due to the heat. I don't really do salad, because I don't do green things. But I do like sandwiches. Pretty much. And then I'll be the stroppy teenager of, I hate you. Because I don't want to do it either. But I do fancy some sausages and some food, and I've got some potatoes, and I'll do something a little bit, nearer actual food tomorrow. And some gravy. I really kind of fancy potatoes. I've got some Yorkshire puddings, got some carrots, Well, I was actually thinking roast potatoes, because I love a good roasty. I've got some carrots, sausages, because I love sausages. I've got a real thing for sausages. Gravy, maybe some sweet corn. So it's kind of healthy. I mean, it's not exactly, Chef Ramsay kind of shit, but some nice good onion gravy that could like form jelly molds out of. Because I like my gravy thick. I don't want it to be like black brown piss. Yeah, I do. Because I'm lazy, frankly. But yeah, it'll be cool. It could be cool. So I'm going to eat something with like veg and shit. I like carrots. I like carrots in any sense, including raw. I don't like any green vegetables. I hate all green vegetables with a passion, which is why I eat these, which are kind of green vegetable nutrient shit, to try and make up for my lack of green vegetableness. And when I first started eating them, they made me feel sick like green vegetables do. They don't now. There were a lot of vegetables I didn't eat that weren't green, that were my mother's lack of skill. I still don't like green stuff because it tastes like anti-nail biting polish. But in essence, no, I just don't like the flavour. Oh God, yes! She can't even get a glass of water without fucking it up. So she, whereas most men thought women should be in the kitchen, this is the one woman who should have been banned from being in the kitchen. Mind you, my dad was not a lot better. So, although he was better by the end, because he'd had to cook for himself for 20 years. So, anyway, I'm going to go and upload videos, and I shall see you, hopefully, tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Big hugs. Bye-bye.